Hey guys, it's Jessica with Southern Sparrow. Today we're going to talk about jokers. So, jokers are probably my favorite tile. Jokers are wild. Jokers are a tile that can be used in the place of any tile as long as it's in a group of 3 or more. Let's start with how many jokers come with your set and how many jokers are played. So, in your set of Mahjong tiles from Southern Sparrow and most other modern Mahjong companies, you will get 10 jokers. In National Mahjong League rules, you play with 8 jokers. So you get an extra 2 in your set from us. You also get these 6 blanks, and we can talk about those in another video. But if you're playing National Mahjong League rules or you're playing in a tournament, you are playing with 8 jokers. We ship you 10. You can choose to play with all 10 and have a little extra luck, or you can choose to pull out 2 extra jokers and just play with the 8 as it's prescribed by the National Mahjong League. It is totally up to you and your group. Some groups like to set a house rule that gives a little extra luck. You'll just have 2 extra tiles. I will say most groups that choose to play with blanks also choose to keep in those jokers. So you would end up then with even walls. If you were playing with all 10 jokers and 6 blanks, you would have 20 in each wall instead of the 19 that you would have if you were playing National Mahjong League rules tournament style. Okay, so that's your option there. National Mahjong League rules, 8 jokers in your set, 10 jokers and 6 blanks. You guys choose in your group what makes you happy. Remember, Mahjong is fun, y'all. Mahjong is supposed to be fun. It is a game. It is meant to be played with your friends. It is meant to be a really fun excuse to get together with your friends. So let's not get bent out of shape in the comments about playing with blanks, not playing with blanks, playing with 2 extra jokers, not playing with 2 extra jokers. You guys play the way that you love to play Mahjong, and we will all enjoy this game together. Okay, jokers. How are they used? Okay, jokers are used as a wild tile. So they can be used to make up any group of 3 or more tiles. What can you not do with a joker? You cannot use your joker as a single. You cannot use your joker in a pair. So you can't ever say, oh, I need a single dragon and use a joker. And you could never say, oh, I need a pair of flowers and use my joker with that. That is not allowed. What you can do is make a pung. Remember, a pung is a group of 3 like tiles. So let's say we needed a pung of flowers. You can certainly use your joker there and make that group of 3. Let's say you needed a Kong of flowers. A Kong is a group of 4 like tiles. Remember, flowers don't have to match. A flower is a flower is a flower. So if we're making a Kong of flowers, you can use your joker there. Let's use it for some numbers because I think that might be easiest for everyone to understand. So let's find some things that match. So you can use a joker here in a pung of 2 bams. A pung is 3 tiles of a kind. So a pung of 2 bams using a joker. You could use it in a Kong if I can find, here we go. You could use it in a Kong of 2 bams. You could use it in a quint of 2 bams. Here we go. You could use it in a quint. A quint is 5 of a kind. 5 like tiles. So you can use that here. You know what else you could do if you needed a quint? You can use all jokers for a section of your hand. So if you need 5 tiles and you have 5 jokers, you do not have to have a representative tile. So let's say we were doing quints and we did need those 2 bams, but I didn't have any of them. I could play my quint like this. So you don't have to have a single representative tile to use jokers. You can use all jokers, but you have to be in a group of 3 or more. A pung, which is 3, a Kong, which is 4, or a quint, which is 5. You can use jokers. Here's one that gets people tripped up a little bit. Let's say we need to make news, right? North, east, west, and south would be news. So here's these tiles. Sorry guys, it's hard to hold them up for you. Okay, here's what I have. I've got my north, I've got my east, I have my south, I don't have my west. Can I put a joker there instead of the west? No. You may not use a joker in this grouping for news because they're not like tiles. You could use it in a Kong of Souths, right? We could use it for these 4 tiles because they are like tiles, but news is a group of singles. So it must be completed with the actual tiles, north, east, west, and south. You cannot use a joker in a single. You cannot use a joker in a pair. You cannot use a joker in a group of singles like news or 2025, or in that run, there's a run on the 2025 card that says 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You cannot use a joker in that run. It must be in a group of like tiles. So a group of tiles, 3 or more, that are the same tile, you can use your joker. Here's where jokers come in really handy. Let's say that someone discards a, well, let's just use our 2-bam since we already have that. Let's say someone discards a 2-bam. I have two of them, I need 4 of them. Someone discards 2-bam and it's a live tile. They say 2-bam, I say pause, and I say, yeah, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna go up here, I'm gonna put my 2 bams that I have, I'm gonna put my joker, and I'm gonna call that tile from the discard. So I'm gonna call the 2-bam and show with my joker. Once I've exposed here with my joker, first of all, once you've exposed on top of your rack, you must have that portion be part of your hand to win. Once you've exposed, you're locked in. So if I expose with 4 2-bams, a Kong of 2-bams, I must play a hand that has a Kong of 2-bams. Even if I pivot, I need to pivot to a hand that has a Kong of 2-bams. I can't say, oh, I'm gonna pivot to a hand that only needs 3 2-bams and take 1 back. That's not allowed. Whatever you expose here, whatever's here when you end your turn by discarding, you have locked that in, and you must have that as part of your hand when you win. So I've exposed here with a joker. I have 2-bam, 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 joker, 2-bam. I do like to put my jokers in between. I just think it makes it easier for people to see what your joker is representing if you put it kind of in the middle of your grouping, if you can. Obviously, if you're mostly jokers and you just have one representative tile, you can't do that. But I do like to do it like this. Let's say that I am exposed here. We're gonna take these off just to make it not confusing. So I have an exposure here. I've got 2-bam, 2-bam, joker, 2-bam. Any player at the table who gets this 2-bam or already has it in their hand may exchange for that joker on their turn, including the person who exposed the joker. So I've exposed the joker. If I draw this 2-bam on my next turn, I can put it here and take my joker back into my rack to use somewhere else in my hand. If another player has this 2-bam, they may swap for my joker. It's called a joker exchange or a joker swap. And here's the way that a joker swap works. They can start their turn by drawing. Maybe they already have the 2-bam on their rack, or maybe they draw the 2-bam on their turn. Start their turn by drawing and racking, and then they will say, with nice manners, I'll take your joker, please, or may I please have your joker. This is just nice manners so they're not grabbing and touching my tiles. It's tacky to touch other people's tiles. Try not to do it if you can help it. So that is the nice thing to do. The important thing to note, even though I'm using my nicest manners and saying, may I please have your joker, it's not an option for the person who has that joker exposed. If you have a joker exposed and someone wants to joker swap you, you must make that joker swap. If they have the representative tile, they get that joker. No matter how politely they're asking, even if they say, oh, I'm so sorry, would you mind if I take your joker? You must give them your joker. You cannot refuse a joker swap. Okay, let's finish out the idea around joker swaps. What happens if I have a joker exposed and this player has the 2-bam and they miss my joker swap, they discard the 2-bam? No one else can call that 2-bam for this joker swap. If someone misses a joker swap and discards that tile, it is dead forever for this joker swap. Now, if this player needed it for their own exposure, they could call it over here and say, pause, call, take that there and show with jokers. That's legal. But no one can call this discarded 2-bam if it's been missed for this joker swap if they're trying to make that joker swap. So I know there's sometimes confusion around that. So that's exactly how a joker swap works. So that is the trick on jokers. They're wild. They may be used in any group of 3 or more like tiles, meaning they are the same tile. They cannot be a single. They cannot be used in a pair. They cannot be used in a group of singles like News or 2025. They can only be used in groups of 3 or more like tiles. And once you've exposed your joker, it is available for joker swap to anyone at the table, including the player who exposed it. So anyone who comes up with that representative tile can swap it out. Now, let's just say, for argument's sake, there's an opportunity for 2 joker swaps, right? I have 2 jokers exposed in my Kong here, and 2 players have or let's say that I only needed 3. I think that's a better way to look at this. If I only needed 3, I have 1 joker here, and 2 players have that 2-bam on their rack. The joker swap must be done on your turn. So that means that whoever's turn is next, or whoever sees the joker swap, but maybe she doesn't see it and it comes all the way back around. You have to do it on your turn. So if 2 players have the option to do that joker swap, it's whoever's turn is next that has the opportunity to do it. And again, you'll draw your tile, rack it, do your joker swap with nice manners. May I please have your joker? And then you'll take that joker and put it in your rack, and you may use it as you see fit. So jokers are a great option, and they really make the game super fun. Again, you will receive extra jokers with your set if you purchase from us. They are there for your discretion if you want some extra luck. But the National Mahjong League rules say you play with 8, and that is how you play with jokers. Happy Mahjong, y'all.